This is Gordon, the big engine, and you're listening to the Railway Series Book Club. It's as classy as the Express, and just about as long.
You know, when I was young and green, right, I remember going to the hospital because being young and green was not very good for my health.
Oh dear.
Oh no. Did you get better?
No, I died.
Damn.
Well, that sucks.
But we can't have two ghosts. Get the fuck out of here.
I'm not a ghost, you dip. I'm me.
Well, that checks out. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Railway Series Book Club, the podcast where we talk about the books that have the trains in them.
Woo!
I am Jamie, the Queen of Sodor, hostess with the mostest, N-scale freak, etc. Pronoun she, her.
I'm Vivian. I'm a ghost. I'm gonna haunt you. I went to Wales over the weekend and saw some trains. Also she, her.
And I am Andrew, as usual, they, them, the _ chairlord, and apparently has been mentioned at least 3 times on the latest Thomas Tuesday live stream?
Yeah, it's pretty fucking wild.
Correct?
Andrew
That
von
was kinda crazy. I
Chairlord,
didn't watch it.
also known as Jerma Bowser Jr.
Or Scott the
You're-
Woz Bowser Jr.
Your impact, bestie, those are like words people say, right? I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, it's something that people say. I think it's something that people tell that Genshin fella. Really. Like, your impact, bestie.
Oh, true. I don't know anything about Mr. Genshin.
Yeah,
other
me neither.
than he has stolen the souls of many Yuri artists who previously had a wealth of interests and now only post Genshin, which means, unfortunately, I am out for his blood.
Yeah, that's kind of understandable.
I just assumed you were out for blood perpetually.
I mean, I am, but, like, I can be picky sometimes.
Jamie needs her blood.
Yes.
I need
I am
blood.
a vampire, ah!
I am a vampire.
Damn vampire, the Ben
What was
10
that?
alien.
What was that? It was like a TikTok or something with like a guy with like a funny like vampire filter on, and it was like Happy Halloween. Fucking I don't know. It was like I'll just suck your dick. I mean blood. I don't remember how it went, but like Vinny like played it fucking incessantly on stream in October, especially near Halloween. Anyway, what's the story
today we're reading Gordon Goes Foreign from the 8 Famous Engines.
Hooray!
Yeah,
That's the one where he talks about how foreigners should go back to where they came from, right?
Yeah.
No, that's Gordon Goes Native. We'll talk about that later.
Oh, I see.
So, Gordon Goes Foreign, as I'm sure most of y'all tuning in are aware, is pretty much the first Railway Series story to have no kind of television series adaptation whatsoever. They were planning to do it in Series 2, but it was one of the many episodes that got cut during development, and they had a preliminary script for it, but unlike Percy's Promise and Hello Twins, they seemingly hadn't gotten as far as a shooting script for either this story or the next, so presumably neither of them got as far along in development as the other 2 cancelled episodes. And allegedly the X came because of budgetary reasons, but given how unceremoniously they'd axed Hello Twins midway through filming, I wouldn't be surprised if the crew just decided kids would find it confusing, And rather than do anything to demystify the story, they just decided it was better not to touch the story at all.
I love the idea that they thought kids would be confused by the concept of London.
Yeah. They
Yeah,
don't...
I mean,
Like-
to be fair, us Americans weren't really tuned in on the joke growing up. Hey, Jamie.
Yeah, like, I had this book as a kid, and I
Yeah.
did not know the joke necessarily, but I did
I
know
didn't
what
either.
London is. It's one of the most famous cities in the world, and I feel like they could name drop that without ruining the magic of the universe. Or whatever.
His universe is
Yeah.
starting to crumble.
Yeah.
My universe is starting to bumble.
My universe is starting to fumble.
My universe is Buck
Wait.
Bumble.
Buck at the bumble. I love that song. So because this episode has its status as like a kind of sort of lost episode, second only to the aforementioned Hello Twins, it casts a bizarrely long shadow across the TV series type canon. Because, like, it's
Oh,
the
it
only
absolutely
Railway
does.
series story that never got adapted to the TV series, that did get a Mr. Perkins storybook segment back when that was a thing, and then they went out of their way to reference it in the 75th anniversary special, Thomas and the Royal Engine. And that's not even the first time that kind of thing happened, because in the TCC's very fun Gordon's Grand Adventure, which came out 4 years earlier in January 2016, they made a similar reference to the whole station name thing, and then the TCC later referenced the story again via the title of the much less fun Gordon Goes Native, in which Gordon is mad about international entrants being on Sodor. And that one's from December 2016, which really puts into perspective how the TCC went from being very fun to very flat within the course of a year.
Yeah.
You've reminded me that it's been 4 years since the CGI series ended, and that kills me.
Yep.
Oh. Don't tell me that.
Yeah, Tale of
I
the Brave
stopped
is
paying
10 years old this year.
Okay. No. I don't like that.
But Andrew, you have to be brave.
Let's be brave. Ooh, 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 ooh. Oh, ah, ah, ah. Here's a thing about how that song is built upon uwus.
Aren't we all built upon uwus?
We definitely are.
Yeah. Especially considering how long we've been on the internet for. I perpetually exist in a state of being that one Tumblr post that's like Talking Heads lyrics but evil. And one which was the evil version of This Must Be the Place is I love the passing of time, and it's I hate the passing of time. That's me. That is the state that I perpetually exist in, especially whenever somebody brings up shit like Tale of the Brave being 10 years old.
But when he's with you, he rocks and he rolls.
Yeah,
It's a good song.
it's a great song.
That's a good song. Tale of the Brave is a pretty good movie.
Yeah.
No, Tale of the Brave's great. I think, personally, that it presents a perfectly sustainable format for the show.
Reg is in it.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
It does have a bridge in it.
There's the post. I know exactly where that large automobile is.
Do we have anything else that we want to, say before starting the story, or do we just want to go?
I think you got most of the preamble we needed out the way, honestly.
Yeah,
I did.
I think that's all we need to know.
I wrote half a fucking page about all that because I'm a fucking windbag and haven't even started the story yet. There's so much to fucking say about this one.
Should I just get into it?
Yeah, let's just get into it.
Yeah, go on.
Go, yeah.
Hell yeah.
Let's go. Foreign. Woo!
Lots of people travel to the big station at the end of the line. Engines from the other railway sometimes pull their trains. These engines stay the night and go home the next day. Gordon was talking one day to one of these. "When I was young and green," he said, "I remember going to London. Do you know the place? The station's called King's Cross. King's Cross! Snorted the engine. London's Euston! Everybody knows that. Rubbish, said Duck. London's Paddington. I know! I worked there! Hi, Duck.
Hi, Duck.
I like Duck.
Hi,
He's
Duck.
here.
I can't do a Duck voice very well. I did my best.
That's
Aw.
alright.
You did a good job. So the story opening by expanding on the Northwestern's relationship with the other railway engines is neat, and also offers a potential explanation for literally any unexplained background locomotive on Sodor. Not that
Yeah.
we really have a lot of those going forward, but it's the thought that counts. Although
Yeah,
actually,
'cause
now that
if
I
anything-
think of it, oh no, you go.
If anything, this book sort of has the last of the background jobbers.
Yeah,
Which even then are sort of explicitly stated to be engines from the other railway.
Yeah. And I guess going forward, this is also the reasoning for why Class 40 and Spam Can and Bear and all those kinds of guys, when they show up on Sodor, because they don't get any kind of framing device like they do for Class 40 in the TV series, where they're like, oh, this guy's coming in to help out, please be nice.
Please, God.
Like, I think we're just supposed to assume that, oh, it's just this that's happening again.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, Big City Engine.
Big City Engine.
He... No, you
You
go.
first?
I mean, I do have things to say, but I want you to go first, just because I don't want to just be talking forever and ever.
Okay. Hey, forever and ever, why don't you just change everything? I would like to let it be known that I am Big City Engine's #1 fan. I have all 2 toys of him in box.
Damn, you could enter Leo Kim Video's collection contest.
I could, yeah. And I could win, what were the prizes for that one?
I don't know.
I think it was like a bunch of Mad Bomber stuff.
And I could
remember.
win a bunch of Mad Bomber stuff. And it would be great.
I wonder if anybody has those Mad Bomber DVDs still.
Probably.
Yeah, like to. I would like it to be known that this is probably one of the funnier one-off characters in the Railway series.
Yeah.
Because
Yes.
he's only there for a page. He only gets 1 line, and from there ceases to exist.
Yeah.
He exists
And they made 2
purely to
toys
be
of
an
him.
op. They made 2 toys of him.
One of which came out in, 2016.
He wasn't even in the TV series, even though they had a plan for that. And yet he still got 2 toys, and one of them
Yeah.
is from 2014.
Yep. It's crazy.
Like, I just love looking at him. Like, I mean, who doesn't love this guy? Like, he was one of the last good take-and-play toys. He is one of the cooler wooden railways because he has the big wheels. And,
Yeah.
he's just got a good face, you know? Like, that shit-eating sneer. Like,
Yeah. Originally, the wooden railway toy was going to have a face closer to the proper sneer. You can see it on the prototype, which is on the character card, which, on the back, says, "The Big City Engine is a smug engine who visited the big station once when he was bringing passengers to the other side of the island." Which is almost accurate.
yeah.
Well, I guess it's sort of similar to how, in the Thomas Story Library canon, there is, a lot of implication that the Fat Controller's Railway is not the only railway on the island. Because they kind of exposit from the faraway part of the island where only the diesels work to imply that Topham's Railway only covers a small part of the island in that canon. I do think that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, that is an interesting idea.
Everybody read the My Thomas Story Library books. They're good.
The TV series,
Yeah.
if it weren't a coward.
I very deeply wish that Big City Engine got his own book for that.
Oh, that would have been so good.
Yeah. Like, I'm honestly kind of surprised they didn't make a bunch of Railway series character books for that anyway, just because, I feel like at a certain point they would have had to continue.
Well, they stopped.
It would have been cool if they did, Caldy and Lord Harry.
I think
Yeah,
the final
they could've
story
done
they
them.
did was Charlie, which was completely original.
Yeah, I haven't read that one.
Let me pull up the wiki page for it.
Yeah, in the meantime, I would like to talk about the proposed plan for putting Big City Engine in Season 2.
Yes,
Which was to make a new face for Henry, plonk on some smoke deflectors, and call it good for the day.
Were they going to repaint him too?
They probably could have. I don't know.
At the very least, they probably would have put some green tape over the number.
Yeah, I feel like they probably would have more or less done what they did with Smudger, where they, very carefully place a bunch of, temporary tape to change the color.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's why Henry in Season 2 has the splashes, because they put them on to, have him play Big City Engine, and then they just never took them off.
Maybe.
That could have been it. I think they're there.
I feel a bit more.
I think they're there because they took a bunch of promo stills. They took a bunch of promo stills for Season 1 that had Henry in his old shape after they already filmed him in his new shape. So I think they might have, glued them down at that point, and then were like, shit. Well, let's just keep him there, whatever.
It's probably not even that so much as it's he's still in his old shape in Thomas's Christmas party. So, by the time they got the models back out for Series 2, they just sort of went, oh, these are still on here. But these bits aren't. Let's just fix that real quick. And they stick the friggin' steam pipes back on. And then that's it.
It's very confusing.
Yeah, it is a mystery.
I really would have loved to see Big
freak.
City Engine actually happen in Season 2, though. 'Cause that'd just be like getting Smudger a decade early. You know? And the Smudger types are always funny. I also feel like they probably could have, if they didn't want to do all that shit with Henry, they probably could have just, hidden Donald or Douglas's number and pretended one of them was the foreign engine, in the same way they used Bill and Ben in the last story. Just take off the nameplate, hide the number, maybe give him smoke deflectors and a new face, and bam, there's your foreign engine. It would have looked like absolute shit, but...
Yes, it would.
It would have been something, I guess.
Maybe it's for the best that they didn't reskin Henry, though, because if they did, then we would have had yet another fake Henry running around.
That's true. There are far too many fake Henrys running around.
Are there any other fake Henrys that I should know about? And then this guy pulls up and he's like... Also, the wiki says, for some reason, that in this story, indeed this book, that Duck is still illustrated as a 6400, which I would kind of like to say is a bit bullshit.
Yeah. He looks more right than he did in the last book, I think.
Yeah.
It's not like we get a terrible lot of pages where we can very clearly see Duck, but, from what we do see, he looks fine.
Yeah. That it's a mildly non-standard Duck, but, this is Kenny's first time illustrating Duck.
And the only illustrations of Duck are the shit ones.
Yeah.
He has nothing to reference.
Yeah, we need to, wait a book or so to get Prime Duck.
By Duck in the Diesel Engine, you can tell he's referencing Audrey's model.
Uh-huh.
Right?
Yeah.
But here it's kind of just trying to find a balance between Audrey's model and what Dalby had done previously. But talking of this being Kenny's first time illustrating certain characters, this is his first illustration of Gordon, and already it's fucking brill.
The nose.
Yeah, he looks... this is a really good illustration just across the board, but, Gordon looks so fucking cool already.
He's already perfect. Yeah. So something else I took note of on this page is that the Mr. Perkins storytime narration of this removes Gordon's mention of having been green. And I think I see this as a good thing.
Yeah, honestly, I don't like the idea of Gordon having actually been green.
Yeah.
It's cool, I guess, but...
It's Audrey sort of wrote himself into a corner with that one.
Yeah.
The thing like, oh yeah, Gordon could only have been green in this very specific small time frame, and he maybe would have visited London maybe once during that time, and then boom, he would have gone straight to Sodor. So I was like, ugh.
Yeah.
Ugh. Also, talking of the Mr. Perkins Storytime version, we do not talk about Mogul Duck.
We don't. I appreciate Lorraine Marshall.
Oh, Lorraine's
because,
lovely.
I do
you
too.
know, like,
She's
she's
fantastic.
lovely, and she did a great job trying to mimic the style of the books. That
Yeah.
said, Grunk still lives on strong through her work, but I can never be mad at it.
Yeah. But like again, she gets her own Grunk, really.
Yeah.
Grump.
It could be Monk or Lunk. What did you say, V?
Grump.
Grump?
Grump.
Grump?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Grump.
Yeah.
Grump moment.
Grump moment, yeah. Yeah.
True.
But, you know what? End of the day, it's alright.
Yeah. So I feel like we have to talk about the big thing about the story now, which is the station names. 'Cause
Yes.
the very clever joke in this story is that every single station that these three engines named is in fact a terminus station in London, because London is a big city that has a shitload of train stations, and each of them has a different name.
Yeah.
So King's Cross was the GNR as well as the LNER's main terminus in London. As we said, as Gordon said, he was there when he was young and green, and clearly he'd only know that place because it's supported by the timeline where he was only tested there for maybe like a couple years. So after that is Euston, which is one of the many terminuses under the LMS control, originally built by the London and Birmingham Railway. And since Big City Engine is an LMS Patriot class, who clearly has not been to London very often because he only knows one station, that's the one he cites, I guess. I don't know.
No,
maybe there's like a route reason. Like, maybe the Patriots only worked that one route. I don't know.
I just think that he literally only ever went to and saw Euston.
That
Yeah, that makes the most sense.
the thing is, even after the BR grouping, most of the engines kind of stayed in their lane.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, they were already there. Like, they had the exchange trials where they, like, tried to see if things worked better in other places, but, like, most of the time, each of the region's engines
that,
just kind of stayed in their original home territory.
Yeah, like that, the Jubilee at Waterloo with the fucking
Yeah.
austerity tender.
Yeah, that's a fucking wild photograph.
It's crazy. Now, fellas, should London exist?
No.
I mean, Britain is a land of misery and hubris, so I'd argue no, but
You could say that Brian is a railway country. That was a reference to the short-lived YouTube series, and by YouTube series, I mean thinly veiled ripoff. The Locomotives of British Railways Brighton. It's awful. Do not watch.
Oh, I forgot about that.
yeah, I've not watched enough of that to remember any of it.
Good.
I think I tried watching it, and then the very obvious impression of Simon Martin made me never want to watch it again.
Yeah. it's bad. It's bad.
Yeah.
If in the off chance anybody who worked on that is watching this, sorry.
Yeah.
Stuart and I still shitpost about it every now and then.
The third station mentioned here is Paddington, which is the Great Western's main terminus in London, and Duck formerly worked there, so he's quite the authority on Paddington, and nothing else.
And also Paddington Bear.
Yes.
Yes.
Do you think Duck is a big fan of Paddington Bear purely because his name is Paddington?
I should hope so.
Yeah, I should hope so too. I think Duck's real like that.
So those are the three station names that are in this story, apart from one.
Which we'll get to later.
But the callbacks made in Gordon's Grand Adventure and Thomas and the Royal Engine add a couple other stations in the mix, so I just want to talk about all the stations right now. Well,
Okay.
In both callbacks, Gordon quite definitively says that London Station is St. Pancras, because of the story, and we'll get to St. Pancras later. In Gordon's Grand
Spoilers.
Adventure, Arthur and Thomas get confused and think that the terminus is Euston and Waterloo, respectively. And then Spencer barges in and gives the clarification about the multiple stations, and apparently the right answer to the station question this time around is Euston. Excuse me. So, Waterloo is one of the terminus stations that came under the Southern Railway during the grouping of the Big Four. But clearly whoever was doing the Googling for that joke wasn't Googling hard enough, because a much more appropriate station joke for Thomas to bring up is referenced in Thomas and the Royal Engine, when the Fat Controller corrects Gordon by telling him they have to go to Victoria, which is a much more appropriate Southern Railway controlled station, because
Yeah.
Victoria was previously associated with the London, Brighton, and South Coast Railway,
Yes,
and
exactly.
is also where the E2s were sent to be shunters after they failed at other various jobs, as seen in Peak Fiction, aka Web of Lies by Master of the Lemons.
Fantastic series.
Yes.
Still not listened to that one yet.
It's really good.
It's really fucking good.
I think about Thomas saying, "Oh my god, you're a shitty person" to Diesel a lot.
Yeah.
That
I think
alone
a
makes
lot-
you want to listen to it. Like, I
Yeah,
already wanted to,
also,
but then it was
Huh?
like, it's multiple parts? Oh, the multiple parts are very long.
yeah,
Oh, I'll get round to this
It's-
eventually.
it's a
Still
long
haven't.
listen, but it is well worth it. It's so fucking good.
I will say, admittedly, personally, Long Live the Iron Horse is more to my taste. I prefer Long Live the Iron Horse a little bit. Web of Lies is really, really good. It's just I prefer Iron Horse and the Token a little bit in a way. I think all of Lemmy's stuff's really good.
Yeah, all of his stuff is like really fucking good. You should listen to his stuff.
I really,
He's
really
also the
enjoy
voice
all
of
of his
Gordon in this opening, so
Ooh,
I am highly biased.
Lemmy, if you listen to this, I'm sorry. I hope that didn't come up as rude
Hi,
as me
Lemmy.
preferring Long Live the Iron Horse. You're super cool.
I'm sorry I've not listened to your stuff yet.
It's okay. He'll forgive you. Don't dig
Please.
your don't dig your hole deeper.
Please do not send Gordon and the Snow Machine after me.
My machine.
My machine is in danger.
My machine is in danger.
Listen, I think about the idea that Thomas isn't allowed at Tidmouth anymore a lot.
Yeah.
Like, he's not allowed at the indignation meetings as such a... Like, what did he do?
They just kicked him out.
Yeah.
Fuck him.
Fuck that guy in particular.
Literally, fuck that guy in particular.
What the fuck were we talking about?
Last time we did this, the
Stations.
Steamworks was stolen.
There's a lot of words to explain the very specific details of the joke, which we just did. But it's like not really that complicated. It's just 3 trains from 3 different parts of the world all get huffy with each other because none of them realize that all their stations fit the criteria of the station in London. And it's very funny if you know this, but to somebody who doesn't know the joke, it could come across as weird. Like, the story
Yeah.
as written never says anything to clarify this point, mostly because the target audience was British kids in the 50s and they'd get the joke. But as
Yeah.
time goes on and demographics expand to kids outside of Britain in the modern day, it'd be good to add a line in there somewhere saying, none of them realized that London was a big city with lots of stations, or something like that, you know.
Yeah.
And, like, they could have very easily inserted something like that into the North American script of the TV episode if they'd gone ahead with it.
You
So
know what,
I
though?
kind of
Mr.
just consider it a
Perkins-
moot point in terms of criticizing the story.
Mr. Perkins actually does do that, though.
He does.
Yeah, at the end of his narration, he's like, "They didn't know that London is actually a very big city, and those have lots of stations."
I love Mr.
Yeah,
Perkins.
like, the end of the story is also a good place to do that. So yeah, like, basically either here or at the end is a good place to be like, you know, oh, this is why it's like this.
Yeah.
But I mean, even when they don't, honestly, even without an explanation, like, I didn't have that when I read the book as a kid, And I still thought it was very funny that all three of these engines were arguing about what a station was called, and then all three of them ended up being wrong.
Yeah,
Like, that's still funny even if you don't have context.
it is. It is objectively funny.
Yeah.
I will say, on the topic of Mr. Perkins, I hope if we ever get a Thomas reboot that's not terrible, they do canonize that Thomas's driver is named Gilbert Perkins. I would love that.
That'd be really cool.
Yeah.
I don't know what the rights are like to the likenesses of the live-action actors they had in the CGI era, but, like...
Well, it would just be
it
the
would be
name,
really
though.
cool.
Yeah.
It would be, I guess.
They wouldn't make CGI Ben Forster. That'd be a bit weird because he's dead, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Okay, so when I was googling Mr. Perkins to remember what his first name was, I got a picture of the fact that they made a CGI model of Old Bailey.
Oh yeah, they did that, didn't they?
Oh yeah.
It was used in Blue Mountain Quarry.
Yeah.
And he goes,
yeah.
"Stop! Or something like that. I don't remember.
I think a lot about how they made a
must
CGI
warn
model of
him.
Cyril the Fogman for that one episode that... I was gonna say that one season 22 episode, but now we know that was supposed to be in season 21, so actually that does track.
But also the fact that they
Well-
already had a model of what was actually Cyril the Fogman.
Yeah, they already
Yes.
had that model for, like, since literally the beginning of the CGI era.
But then they had to modify it because they've been using it as not Cyril the Fogman for so long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very
Wait,
funny.
They modified it?
Yeah, it's slightly different.
What's different about it?
Like, the model that's in all the episodes before that and the one they actually use and explicitly mentioned to be Cyril are very slightly different.
Huh.
I hope they make a Cyril figure for the Bachman figure packs.
I would love that.
The Fogman slept cold and alone that night.
I'm a little surprised they
Speak
didn't.
up, I
they
can't
didn't-
hear you.
They didn't bring Cyril
The
back. when
Fogman slept cold and alone that night.
I'm a little surprised they never did anything with the fact that Lord Callan's castle, which has been in CGI for a long time, is in Misty Valley, which is where Cyril works. Do you think they
Yeah.
know each other?
Yeah.
Do you
exploit
think
each
they've
other's
explored
bodies.
each other's bodies?
I was about to say.
You
We're
know,
all on the same wavelength here.
triple Spider-Man point here.
Yeah.
Everybody,
Also-
post your romantic Lord Callan x Cyril the Fogman fanfiction in the Railway Series Book Club Discord.
Please do.
Please
Share it with
do
us in
join the Discord so you can do that and nothing else. One last thing, because there's so much to fucking talk about on this page. It feels like we've been here forever, but I have one more thing to bring up, which is that we do learn the fun new things about Gordon and Duck. Gordon was young and green and got to go to London, and Duck worked at Paddington as a pilot. That's a pretty good bullet point for Duck's resume, honestly.
Yeah. He's like that's some proper credentials right there.
I love the
Yeah,
idea.
like, oh,
of-
you worked at Paddington? And, yeah, okay, sure, yeah, come to my railway, you're awesome.
I love the idea
Yeah,
that he works at Paddington, which is
Paddington?
one of the
Fuck yeah.
biggest stations in the country, and then he moved to Titmouth, and it's like, you get maybe 4 trains an hour. What you need me for?
Well, the thing about that, of course, is just who is pulling the trains. What? You'll see what I mean when you get there. And then Duck takes charge happens, and then he's like, "Yeah,
I understand."
I think I understand now, sir."
Like Gordon's in the back yelling about it, like, no, I demand that I do not have pineapple upon my pizza.
The pizza is lessened by the pineapple, and I will not be having it.
I am above this.
pizza, dipshit.
Oh my god.
No, Henry, it is not.
Can we just finish ordering already?
Do I get food?
I've been waiting for you two to finally finish your orders for like an hour!
Percy's in the very,
wings, by the way.
Percy in the very back of the chat. Do I get food? No. Oh.
No, yeah,
No,
you actually
you always ask for chicken and onion, and then you never finish it, and you leave it in the fridge to take up space, and you just never eat your leftovers, and it's just there for a month, and it's not even
in
good.
the way of my salads that I stock up. And
I need space for those. I prepare days in advance.
And then
it's important to me.
Duck looks over at Top and is just, "You're sure I can't transfer?"
I would like to adjust my casting, by the way. I said previously that James would be the broke friend who says get wings, but that is Percy.
Yeah, it would be.
Don't forget to ask for wings, by the way! We're not getting wings! But we'll get wings when you can pay for them!
Bertie says that Thomas has wings.
Then go back to fucker or whatever it is!
The idea of Gordon calling it fucker.
Keep up with your ranch line bonanzas.
Oh my god. Good bit.
Good
Next
bit.
page?
Yeah, let's move on.
Great bit.
But yeah, I don't have anything else to say about this page. I ran out of things.
Alright, let's go.
Yeah.
You can see a building next to Gordon that says Richards H. Could
Richard's
this
heroin.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Alright, next page.
Yeah. Here we go. They argued till they went to sleep. They argued when they woke up. They were still arguing when the other engine went away. "Stupid thing," said Gordon crossly. "I've no patience." "Stupid yourself," said Duck. "London's Paddington. Paddington, do you hear?" "Stop arguing," James broke in. "You make me tired." "You've both agreed about something anyway." "What's that? London's not Euston," laughed James. "Now shut up!" Gordon rolled away, still grumbling. "I'm sure it's King's Cross. I'll go and prove it."
This is the most legendary fucking burn James ever puts to page. And it's so fucking devastating that these were never put to screen.
I couldn't think of a James voice that I could actually emote in, so I just used a normal voice.
Yeah.
Fair enough, but I feel
that
like
works quite well as well.
Yeah, it works pretty good. Honestly, I think the best part about the Angelus James voice when you're like toning it up is that it's just one emotion, and the emotion is just exclamation points, full capitalization. "London's not Euston. Now shut up."
Bro speaks in caps lock.
Yeah.
Have you seen the new engine yet?
The thing is, what I love about that is that James was more, loud, a little bit more nasally back in Season 3, you know?
Yeah.
But he didn't become that until much later.
He didn't.
Yeah.
But in the in his audiobook narration of this story, he actually doesn't do that voice. He sort of brings it back.
Well,
And then with Percy, it's like he was a little bit higher pitched, and then it was just an instantaneous shift in Season 8.
Yeah.
Yeah. There were points where Percy and James's voices were basically interchangeable.
Yeah.
They were.
It's kind of funny.
This is the thing, is he did have different voices, they were just a little bit softer than some of the other narrators in terms of the differences. It's like, I can read the inflection differences in his Henry compared to, Edward and stuff. And then you get to, Series 8 and 9, it's like, everybody's the same, except for specifically James, Percy, and Duncan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they all
I really
scream.
like this illustration, by the way.
Oh, it's so good.
They use it as the cover on the 98 edition, and I always really liked it, just because it's, 3 very nicely drawn engines right next to each other, and also had
Yeah.
James on it, because which made me like it. um,
Unfortunately, he's missing like half his middle boiler band.
yeah, that is a little bit cooked. But like,
to be fair, this
I
is-
still like it.
likable.
This is, to be fair, also his first time drawing James.
Yeah,
That
future
is true,
Kenny
actually,
Jameses will cook much harder.
Mm-hmm.
Even in this
Mm,
book,
okay.
some future Jameses are very good.
Oh yes.
Yeah, that's what I was
Doubleheader
referencing.
James is
I'm
excellent. Ooh,
I'm very
yeah.
excited for Doubleheader.
Yeah.
As a kid, I used to scribble Duck's Great Western lettering on this page in my complete collection with pencil.
Oh,
That probably wouldn't have shown up that well.
No, it didn't. It never did. But I did it anyway because I was like, well, he's gotta have this.
I love
Mood.
Duck sulking in the fucking shadows.
Yeah. I love James's smug fucking face while he's laughing at these two petty dipshits.
Yeah, it's great. I like Oh, you know what? This is could this be the extremely rare 3-road Tidmouth?
I think it is. I only count 3 tracks.
Tidmouth in the Bidmouth.
Yeah, that's all I have to say about this page.
I don't think I have
Yeah.
anything else really besides London's Not Euston being really good.
Yeah, it's
London's
so
Not
fucking
Euston
good.
is a fucking classic. The Mr. Perkins narration of this story is abridged so much that James's line is just straight up not there at all.
That's fucked up.
It is because like you still see James. It shows the page,
Yeah.
but like it just sort of goes. Gordon and Duck were still arguing the next day, and then yeah.
It's a great shame.
Great shame for Jame. Only one.
Shing.
You only get one Jame.
The singular Jame.
Should I move on?
Yeah, let's
Yeah,
move
go
on. Yeah.
I'm dying of
alright?
every disease.
No.
Nar Clear.
Alright, here we go. But that was easier said than done. London lay beyond the big station at the other end of the line. Gordon had to stop there. Another engine took his train. If I didn't stop, he thought, I could go to London. One day he ran right through the station. Another time he tried to start before the fireman could uncouple the coaches. He tried all sorts of tricks, but it was no good. His driver checked him every time. Oh dear, he thought sadly. I'll never get there. Barrow's a lot bigger than it should be.
Yeah. It absolutely is so much bigger than it should be.
Look at those BR Mark 1 Crimson and Creams.
Yeah, I like how obviously based on the Triang coaches they are. But like I mean it's even more obvious on the next page, but like yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they are also a far cry from, you know, the Triang stock that Dalby used to draw.
Yeah.
If only because, you know, they're in Crimson and Cream now, and that is a gorgeous livery for coaches. I still love the 1948 BR coaching stock scheme, just because, like, it really tickles my brain cell that they had dedicated liveries for both corridor and non-corridor stock.
Yeah.
And it, like that's really cool. You can just tell what end it has by what color the coaches are, and I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, after fucking 1956 or whenever they undo that, it's just fucking free ball, whatever goes,
Yeah.
and that's not quite as pleasing to the eye, I think.
And then you have Irish stock, which there's some there's there's
aren't they
stock
orange and black like
from
the locomotives?
the like the coaching stock, the they were still using like coaches with clerestory roofs into the 50s and 60s, and
Wow.
had like 6-wheel full brakes on expresses. Also, well into the 60s, that were like fitted to have corridor connectors.
That sounds jank as hell.
Yes. My associate experts in Irish trains do indeed call them jank trains.
This train do be jank, though.
And
Yeah.
also, as for the engines, when by CIE times, a lot of them were still in like what were essentially their pre-grouping liveries. They just sort of had CIE tramp stamped onto the back of the tenders.
That's really funny.
Yeah.
Did they also print on a lamp like a Bachmann Salty?
Can't say they have, but I can't say they haven't either.
The world may never know.
Well,
I like this little track gang they have working over by the Coke and Coal hut. Or Coal
Yeah.
and Coke, rather. I do... On this read-through, I did kind of start to wonder if maybe, like, this is some kind of secret foreshadowing for when the derailment happens later in the story, because, like, oh, there's, like, people working on the track. What if track issues is why the train derailed?
maybe.
That's probably not at all what was meant to be taken away from that. It's probably just, like, you know, random detail for the sake of visual interest, but, like, I don't know, I think it's pretty cool
Yeah.
that you can, like, make that connection.
Oh,
I like the way there's the one guy shaking his fist at Gordon.
hey,
That's
get
great.
out of here!
You're
the hell outta
speeding
here.
in a work zone, fuck ass!
You need hard hats. And
This isn't the beach!
why'd you bring us here, Toby? Oh,
Seaside,
dear.
seaside, seaside!
Perfectly.
This sucks.
Something I really, really, really love about Kenny's illustrations, and this is actually a note I have for a later page, but, like, it applies to any, really. It's just how much action there is. There is so much to see happening. Like, Dalby's, you know, are very sort of sleepy, serene a little bit. Like, even when there's some, like, crazy shit happening, like Thomas falling into a hole, it's like, it's very just, oh, you know, yeah, there's that thing happening. But here there's, like, a lot of visual interest, and I think that is honestly mostly because of how much, especially in these earlier pictures, how much emphasis Kenny places on sort of, like, the shadows and stuff. There's a lot of contrast at play here.
Yeah.
Also, I can't. I'm gonna ruin this picture for everybody. Actually, no, never mind. Never mind. I won't.
You're not gonna ruin it?
Well, I thought that what I was going to say would ruin it, but it actually doesn't. For a second, I was thinking, like, well, it's hard to tell which direction Gordon's eyes are looking in here, but looking at it again, it's quite easy.
Yeah, he's looking.
yeah.
He's looking at the guy.
He's looking at the
looking
guy
at the guy.
running alongside him.
Yeah,
Also, Gordon looks really good.
He does.
Gordon does look really good. Yeah, because
He's a cool looking guy.
Because, like I said, during Percy Takes the Plunge, Kenny was using P.R. Wickham's models for reference for drawing the engines, and that is very, very, very apparent with Gordon and Henry especially.
Yeah.
They actually look like real trains.
Yes.
My leg's a little
Alright.
bit sore.
Next page.
Aw.
Not too bad. It's just a little bit sore around the knee. One day he pulled the express to the station as usual. His fireman uncoupled the coaches, and he ran onto his siding to wait till it was time to go home. The coaches waited and waited at the platform, but their engine didn't come. A porter ran across and spoke to Gordon's driver. "The inspector's on the platform. He wants to see you." The driver climbed down from the cab and walked over to the station. He came back in a few minutes looking excited.
I forgot to say this on the last page, actually, but, like, Gordon's so fucking silly.
Yeah.
Like, he comes up with all these, like, fucking clever plans to try and do shit, and it doesn't go his way, and he's like, oh, no, I can't girl boss my way out of this one. But now he just does his job normally, and the opportunity just lands right in front of him in the silver platter.
Yeah. It's great.
Yeah.
By the way, something I meant to mention on the last page, actually, is just that Gordon, like, trying all these tricks and stuff is, like, a very shared theme between this and Percy Takes the Plunge, isn't it? 'Cause...
Yeah, honestly. Like, there's a bunch of, like, this is not the first time Gordon tries this. It's like, you know, oh, he wants to do, like, he tries over and over again, but we don't actually see them until he succeeds.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Also, Never 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 Give Up, an instrumental of it plays on the previous page in the Angelus narration.
Aw.
That's very funny.
Also,
It is.
it's kind of hard to tell, but I think Gordon's tender has the double lining. Has like a little bit of yellow.
That
could
might just be
shading.
the fading of paint on these scans. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. It's hard to say, really. But I like how the background, like, beyond the station platform is just sort of purple.
That's the purple tone.
Yeah.
We don't go there very much.
Where's Copper Knob?
Presumably just,
Somewhere.
like, a little ways off screen. Although, at this point, maybe he'd be in the NRM by now. I don't know.
In the 50s, nah.
Old Copper Knob.
Okay.
Let me see. When did old Copper Knob
I don't
move?
remember the Copper Knob timeline very well.
See, preservation. How's the static exhibit in Barrow from 1900 to the 1940s?
Yeah.
Huh.
So yeah, Copper Knob would be
So
would
Copper
be
Knob
gone by
would be-
now.
Yeah.
Everybody read the Mean Skull Deceiver Copper Knob fanfics. They're really good.
Yeah, Copper Knob's cool.
Also
I need to
Poppet.
get on doing that myself.
I love Poppet.
I don't have anything else to say about this page. It's a nice illustration.
Good illustration.
It is a really, really nice illustration.
Eh.
Even,
Good
like,
Gordon.
again, about, like, Kenny and, like, depicting action. Like, there's still so much, like, to see here.
Yeah.
Even when it's just mostly just people standing at the station platform, they're looking in all sorts of different ways, and it's like, whoa. Like, most of them don't even have, like, faces drawn on, obviously, because they're so small, you know, the canvas is so big, but and as I said before, there's, you know, the very, very obviously based on the trying ones express coaches, which is fun.
Yeah.
Hello, said the fireman. What's happened? The engine for the express turned over when it was coming out of the yard. Nothing else can come in or out. They want us to take the train to London. I said we would if the Fat Controller agreed. They telephoned and he said we could do it. How's that? Fine, said the fireman. We'll show them what the Fat Controller's engines can do. Come on, said Gordon. Let's go. He rolled quickly over the crossings and back onto the train.
I love how, like, this is a very good illustration, but it's kind of funny, like, I don't know how intentional it is, but it definitely looks like very close to Gordon, this engine is just a flaming wreck.
Yeah.
That might just be the color choice over there. I don't know if that's actually supposed to be fire, but, like,
No, it's not.
that's a flaming train wreck to me.
I did always think it looked rather flamey as a kid.
I love the town in the background.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
town looks really good. But, like,
it gives
I do
a
just...
real sense of depth and scale that Dalby never quite managed to pull off.
Yeah.
The first thing it made me think of was the skyline in Mary Poppins.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah, and, you know, this predates that.
I think my favorite thing about the flaming train wreck right in front of Gordon is that Gordon and his crew know nothing about this until the station staff tell them, hey, the train turned over going out of the yard. Can you take the train? They just have no idea what's going on. Like 50 feet in front of them until they're told. It's like, oh, well, now we can
shit.
see.
Gordon doesn't
Oh,
have
come to
object
think of it, yeah,
permanence.
that was a bit odd that engine was on its side.
Yeah, it is a bit weird.
Gordon and his crew don't have object permanence. The moment they're not looking at it, it doesn't exist.
Yeah. Gordon's just been staring at it the entire time gormlessly and not even processing it.
Without a single gorm.
Yeah. Also, the Lorraine Marshall re-illustration of this page gives the derailed engine a face, which...
It's very funny.
It's very funny. So, do we think the derailed engine is the big city engine?
It could be.
Could be.
I think it easily could be. Like, it's not very detailed, and the details that are there don't necessarily match Big City Engine, but, like...
Yeah, certainly not.
I feel like it'd be good role compression for this guy to also be the Big City Engine.
About 10 years ago, someone on the SI3D forums, back when those were still a thing, asked me to make a model of the derailed engine here. And, like, gave their own, like, interpretations as to, like, what class it is.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't do it because it was a fucking stupid request.
Yeah.
The guy was being patronizing as fuck.
Now they're
Damn.
little Andrew.
Not even that. Just being aggressively formal.
Andrew, when will you release
Like,
all of your
typing
models,
a
including
message-
at least one road vehicle?
Including at least one Bertie bus. Yeah, it was a fucking stupid request. And
But will you?
no.
Won't you?
Take me?
To that?
Take me.
Take me.
Will you, won't you take me?
Take on me. Take on me.
On me. So soon you'll take me.
Gordon looks really cool here.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does look really cool.
Like,
Shame about
it's
his
a-
trailing wheel, though.
Yeah, he had to have it removed. It's a real shame.
The wooden railway model wouldn't go around curves with it, so they had to get rid of it.
Would this be better or worse if he was a take-along style prairie?
It's a long way.
Well, he'd still have the same amount of wheels.
Yeah?
Honestly, I never even noticed that there was anything wrong with Take Along Gordon as a kid.
Yeah, I thought it was fine, you know, like, oh, they can't fit that many wheels, but this is, like, a good way to represent that he has wheels both in front and behind. I kind of wish they'd done that for, like, the new Wooden Railway versions of Gordon and Hero and Rebecca. Because, like,
Yeah.
I saw Lemmy change
that
his
would have looked a
Gordon
little
into
bit better, slightly.
into a prairie.
That's a
Yeah,
good
Lemmy
move.
did do that mod, didn't he? That was cool.
Mhm. Hi again, Lemmy.
I...
Hi, Lemmy.
I was gonna say something, but I forgot.
Oh no.
Let's just go to the next page. I don't have
Yeah, I'm
anything
running
else
out
to
of
say
energy
about
as
it.
well.
Mm.
Oh, wait. The
Thing?
Perkins version of this is also very, very abridged. Well, I mean, obviously the whole story is fucking abridged. It goes,
Yeah.
it just goes, it cuts out the middleman completely. Just that the porter runs up to Gordon's crew and is like, yeah, the engine for the express turned over. You take the train. And then
I think that
the
works a
fireman
little
just
bit
goes-
better, to be honest.
And then the fireman just goes, fine.
Yeah.
Fine.
I think it works a little bit better if there's less, like, human bureaucracy happening at this point in the story. Like, it could just be like, oh, the engine overturns in the yard, and the station's master is like, well, nobody else can get in or out. Can you pull the train? And Gordon's like, yes.
Okay, Andrew,
Yeah.
very quickly.
That's the... Uh-huh.
What was that thing yesterday with Bradley Walsh saying something insanely fucking ominous?
It was... It was no electric car for Rebecca.
No electric car for Rebecca. We watched a couple episodes of The Chase last night, Jamie.
Oh?
Yeah.
We watched a lot of game show stuff, and Andrew had a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, because there was a lot of really good Bradley Walsh.
No electric car for Rebecca.
No electric car for Rebecca.
Oh, phooey!
Can we watch more Chase tonight, please?
Yes.
Excellent.
And Jamie, if you want to come along, you're more than welcome.
I might. We'll see.
Right, should I move on to the next page?
I thought Andrew was gonna
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I cut you off?
say... Somebody was gonna say something after me talking about, like, Gordon saying, yes, I'll do it, to the porter. But I...
No,
Oh, okay.
not that I can remember anyway.
Oh. Well, I'm sorry if I cut you off and made you forget.
That's okay. Because you reminded me of no electric car for Rebecca.
Like, honestly, I don't even think the Fat Controller necessarily needs to be involved. Like, this, you know... Maybe it could be the Fat Controller at the station right now being like, well, Gordon, will you pull the train? Or something? I don't know.
I mean, yeah. I don't know.
Like, you get some role compression.
I'm in Barrow
to this
visiting
point
my
in the story,
mistress.
I think. Oh, no.
He would not do that. He would not have one. I know
would
him.
not
He would
fucking
not
say
have
that.
one. He would not fucking have a mistress, okay?
Better think carefully before you diss my boy Charles.
Yeah.
Chuck.
Hop off, bro. Hop off, Chuck. Chuck hat. Yes, I will.
Oh, just imagining, like, fucking Sir Robert turns up. It's like, oh, hello, Chuck. And then like,
Don't call me Chuck.
Gordon's right there, just like,
Oh my god, what? What? What?
Chuck? Really?
That's not his fucking name!
oh, Jamie. So, I mentioned this to Andrew, right?
Yeah.
So, I was hanging out with Faye a little bit the other night, right?
Mhm.
And I showed them a couple of tackling railway videos, because I was showing stuff from my holiday and stuff. And I ended up showing the engine stories on the lawnmower and Charlie's Aunt. And I mentioned to Faye that, yeah, most of them have Thomas characters based on them, but these two don't. And Faye said that was a very much a shame, because she wanted two little fucked up freaks running around. And then suggested that the Thomas version of Charlie's Aunt be Chuck's uncle.
Yeah, because they misinterpreted
that's good.
ant as not being the insect, but the person.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I
So-
think Chuck's pretty good, just because, like, that makes me think of fucking... Wolverine always calls Professor X Chuck.
Oh, yeah.
But that made
But
Andrew
Chuck's
think about
uncle.
Uncle Chuck.
Yeah. Yeah, I told Vivian about, you know how the WCMP had that one rail tractor that was just a fucking tractor with some buffers and a cab put on?
Yeah.
I brought that up to her, and how it was retired and replaced with the big shed-like one after it got in a traffic accident at one of the road crossings along the line.
So I guess you could say Chuck's uncle got hit by a car.
God.
Now it's funny again. It's finally funny again. Yay! It's my man. It does this like slight wobble as it fucking hurtles towards him.
Andrew, throw in the clip of Uncle Chuck being hit by a car.
Absolutely. I'll do you one better. I'll give you a free get a load of this in there. Free. No extra charge.
Oh, thank you, buddy.
That's for all your jabroni mic watchers out there, you know.
I want to do the next page.
Yeah, let's move on.
Next page, please.
Oh.
No electric car for Rebecca.
It was only a few minutes before the guard blew his whistle, but Gordon thought it was ages. Come on, he puffed to the coaches. Come on, we're going to town, sang the coaches, slowly at first, then faster and faster. Gordon found that London was a long way away. Never mind, he said. I like a good long run to stretch my wheels. But all the same, he was glad when London came into sight.
This is the fucking Gordon of all time.
Yeah.
This is the Gordon of all time. This is the best
Yeah.
Gordon illustration.
It's so fucking good.
Listen, I permanently
Like-
associate this Gordon face less with this illustration and more with the Modernization trilogy.
Yeah, 1973.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where, like, notices Chapman's like, ah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love 1973 so much.
It's such a
It
fucking good
is
story.
so good. I maintain that it is Jake's best Gordon performance.
Honestly, yeah.
Yeah.
It's Jake's best Gordon, and I'd argue it's one of my favorite Thomas fan videos ever.
Yeah, honestly.
I would agree with that. And I'm not biased, by the way.
I'm not biased. I don't know. I don't know any of them.
I mean that to say I would be biased because I drew some of the faces on the engines.
Oh, that is true.
Aren't you also one of the engines in it, or am I forgoing?
Yes, but it is very fucking hard to hear me in the mix. I'm one of the diesel shunters that like Spencer and the others tell to fuck off.
Which I didn't realize they
Okay.
spoke.
Yeah,
Me neither.
I didn't either.
Honestly, when I watched the final one, I thought that had been cut. But no, I'm still credited, and George still says that I'm in there. So
Okay.
Oh, we'll trust him.
I trust him. Yeah.
Now, if anybody
George's great.
who is listening has not watched the Modernization trilogy 1973, please, it is fantastic.
It's amazing. It's like
And watch 1967 too. It's the perfect
Yes.
companion piece to Enterprising Engines.
yes.
Honestly, Chatham
Yes,
is
all
one
of
of my
this, yes.
favorite fan characters.
Yeah, he's a cute little guy.
I think about the if you ever want to see the world, I know a good place to start a lot.
Yeah.
It's such a good line.
Yeah. Like Gordon's so cool.
He is.
Gordon is so cool.
He's
They
a cool
did-
guy.
George did Gordon being a cool dad before All Engines Go.
Yeah.
It's just like I feel like people overstate Gordon being like a really mature guy by the end for certain
Yeah.
boat related reasons.
Yeah.
But like Gordon can be nice. He's not always a dick.
Yeah, like he's had years of experience, and he's silly because he's a train, but like,
He's silly
He-
because he's a big train.
he's big silly because he's a big train.
Big silly
but,
engine.
He's had years of experience, and now he's kind of over the whole like inherent superiority in some places. He's still
Yeah.
got a lot of baggage to work through, though. Even still,
Yeah. Gordon did not humbly pass down the express. That isn't a thing that happened.
It was just 2 pages, and he was like, okay.
Yeah, he's like, okay, yeah. I definitely agree. You know what? This is a good place to increase efficiency. Sure, go ahead, buddy.
Oh, listen. We literally have a series entirely dedicated to us gleaming things from the Railway series. Do not take any of our opinions or anybody else's opinions as gospel. Read the stories for yourself.
Yeah,
Except for
that's
me.
the
Take
ultimate
my
thesis
opinions as
statement of
gospel
this
because they're
show.
the best.
The ultimate thesis statement of this show is that you should read the Railway series because it's cool and good, and also because it'll help you understand the rest of the Thomas trains a little bit more if you do.
So, like,
Yeah.
I don't want to get up on my soapbox here, but I feel like Thomas fandom people have a very big problem with kind of letting people tell them what their opinion is.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
I
Well,
agree
it's
completely.
because there's a lot of children and very autistic adults who, saying this as an autistic person myself, I have privilege to make commentary on this.
Yeah.
There's a lot of very long-standing, just trusting what the big content creators say, just because, well, they've made this very professional presentation on, each character thing, and they present their points in a very articulate way, and some of them are even good points. So you know what? Maybe maybe I should listen to this guy.
Yeah, but it's
Maybe
like,
I
Don't
should
fall
listen
for
to
that.
like, it's always good to take other people's opinions into account, definitely. But
Yeah.
ultimately, you have to read the story and engage with it yourself, because a lot of the people who make Thomas content are wrong.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you know, sometimes people will just, be extremely wrong, and people will, be like, yeah, that sounds about right.
It's not about right.
They will pull something out of their ass and be like, it's true, by the way.
Anyway, I'm getting down off my soapbox now. Point is, do your own research.
And we'll never know anyway.
Do your own research.
Yes. Please do your own research.
Read the Railway series and have fun and be yourself.
Read the Railway series, have fun, be yourself, kiss women.
Yeah.
First rule of the Railway series is have fun and be yourself.
The second rule is to have gay sex.
Yeah.
Yes. And that is the most important one of all.
The Fat Controller came into his office next morning. He was having gay sex. The Fat Controller came into his office next morning. He looked at the letters on his desk. One had a London postmark. "I wonder how Gordon's getting on," he said. The station master knocked and came in. He looked excited. "Excuse me, sir, have you seen the news?" "Not yet, why?" "Just look at this, sir." The Fat Controller took the newspaper. "Goodness gracious me," he said. "There's Gordon. Headlines, too. Famous engine at London station. Police called to control crowds." The Fat Controller read on, absorbed.
I really like this scene. Like, mostly just the beginning part where, the way it's written out here, I feel like would work very well if there was, like a CGI version of this episode, because they could just, adapt that more or less wordlessly. The Fat Controller gets a letter with a London postmark. He could just look at that, and all the, the visuals can do the talking, and then he can say the line.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that would be very, very cool.
I love his glasses.
Yeah, the Fat
they're
Controller's
nice.
glasses need to come back in CGI.
You know what?
They really
you know
do.
what need? You know what
Or
I?
they need to come back in
2016.
All Engines Go, rather, because that's the world we live in now.
You know what I always wished came back?
What's in All Engines Go?
What?
I always wish the Fat Controller's cat came back.
Yeah.
Meow.
Meow.
Like
Ding, ding, ding.
Miss Jenny. Miss Jenny has a dog.
Yeah,
Yeah,
why can't the
she's
Fat
got a
Controller
dog.
have a cat?
The the dog has a name as well, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's Mike.
Mike.
Mike the dog.
That's what I.
Shit yourself! Screamed the
He
dog.
isn't even named in the show. We only know his name because it's in some of the fucking canceled scripts for that show.
Listen, I have a cat named Paul. I have no right to fucking give anyone shit for pet names.
I like the weird voice that Willie Rushton does for the station master here. It's almost like a shit Christopher Lee impression. He's like, "Excuse me, sir."
Excuse me, sir.
Like that really excuse me, sir. Like that's so vaguely Christopher Lee, right? You know, like
Yeah.
I just enjoy that a lot. Also,
Yeah.
big fan of the engines on the pictures in the back behind
Yes.
his desk that have
I
complete void faces.
really like the engine with a very long neck.
Yeah, I'm quite keen on Pointy Nose.
Yeah.
Priscilla Pointy Nose from Paynton.
I'm a little sad the CGI series never got the Ernest painting in anywhere.
Yeah.
Oh, what the fucking
The one from season 1.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that fella's apparently named Ernest.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
Name given retroactively by Robert Goldgaliers.
Oh.
I think my one criticism with this illustration, which is a very hard thing to say because it's very good illustration, but I do wish we could see what the headline photograph was, because I'm sure it would be fucking hilarious.
I guess they didn't want to
Like,
show
Gordon would be
it.
making a very funny face or be like mid-blink or something.
They didn't want to show it because they didn't want to kind of ruin the surprise of Gordon not being happy.
I guess. But, like, it
It's very
still would have
intentional.
been funny.
Also, that is not the region map.
Like, where on Sodor is that?
Maybe it's like the sea around Crosby?
That might be it, I guess. But, like, yeah, that is not the entire northwestern region.
No, it's not.
They're teaching Topham the region piece by piece so he doesn't get confused.
Oh, okay.
So
That
they only
makes
have a little
sense.
bit on the wall so we can learn it.
Swimming pool.
Swimming pro.
He's got 2 phones on his desk.
He loves that
What?
telephone.
Why does he have 2 of them?
He loves it so much he has 2.
One for casual, one for best.
It's so he can talk to 2 people at the same time, maybe?
Bother those telephones.
It's
Maybe people who know about railway administration can tell us
It's,
the answer in the Discord. Join the Discord, by the way.
if
Discord.
if Dowager Hat calls, then he just dials in someone else and puts the phones next to each other. Gordon returned next day. The Fat Controller spoke to his driver and fireman. "I see you had a good welcome in London." "We certainly did, sir. We signed autographs till our arms ached, and Gordon had his photograph taken from so many directions at once he didn't know where to look." "Good," said the Fat Controller. "I expect he enjoyed himself, didn't you, Gordon?" "No, sir, I didn't." "Why ever not?" "London's all wrong," answered Gordon sadly. "They've changed it. It isn't King's Cross anymore. It's St. Pancras."
Fucking boast.
I wanted it to sound like he was on the verge of tears. I hope that came across.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah,
that's a really good way to deliver it.
That's no one does it like that. That's awesome.
It's St. Pancras, sir.
Oh,
It's so terrible. I'm reminded a while back, somebody made, like, a post on Twitter being like, so what even is the moral of Gordon Goes Foreign? Because,
There doesn't need to be.
people like to do that kind of thing sometimes, and Mean Scarlet Deceiver of Tumblr fame very wisely replied to it saying basically something along the lines of, Gordon ruined a very special, once-in-a-lifetime type experience for himself by being hung up on petty bullshit. And yeah, that's what this is.
yeah,
That is what it is.
he do that.
But
He
also,
does-
like, I think personally that sometimes there doesn't need to be a moral.
That
I
is
think,
true.
like, when
There doesn't
people
always need
are-
to be a moral
when people
to a
are
story.
like, but what's the moral of this story? Sometimes, because it's not like every single case. Sometimes it is just like, what the fuck was the point of this story, right? But like, sometimes the point of a story can just be to tell a story of something nice and fun that happened, or something
Yeah.
interesting and cool.
Or funny.
Yeah. Not every story needs to have a moral, so I feel
Yeah.
like that post might have been made in bad faith as an attempt to be like, wow, this story kind of sucks. It's probably a good thing they left it on the cutting room floor in the TV show. But like, yeah, they're too concerned with lore and realism. Meanwhile, it's like only a step or two removed from the actual show.
Every time I think about the like, not every story has to have like a meaning or something like that thing, I think about Mr. Hippo from Five Nights at Freddy's Ultimate Custom Night. Because every time he kills you, he just goes on like a 5-minute long tangent about how stories don't have to have any real meaning or significance and that you should shut up.
That sounds like the
That's not-
Republican who made that game was mad that Matt Pat figured out the story ahead of time.
Yeah. The funny thing about it, though, which I do think this is very funny, is even if you close the game and reopen it, it just starts again from the beginning.
That's really funny, actually.
That's great.
You can't skip. You can't skip it if you get killed by Mr. Hippo. You have to listen to him.
Yeah. I do, even if, not every story needs to have a moral per se, like we just said, I do still think that, the meaning to this that Joby
Hi, Joby.
ascribed in that, hi Joby,
Hi, Joey.
it's actually a very good type of story, I think, because,
Yeah.
that is very much what happens here. You know, Gordon gets to go all by himself to London, and that's a really cool thing to do if you're into London.
If you're into
but-
that sort of thing.
If you're into that sort of thing.
Like,
But, like,
go to England.
it's totally
Forgive me.
ruined because his mind is solely set on the whole station name thing, and it gets ruined for him because it's not his station.
yeah.
So he just has an absolute shit time on this very special vacation because he let that petty grudge dictate his entire mood.
It wasn't the one I wanted, therefore it was bad.
Yeah.
Also, I think I should like to turn everyone's attention to Gordon's fireman hitting the Germa sparkle.
Yes. He... Sparkle on, it's Wednesday.
Forget who you are.
It is actually Wednesday.
It is.
Don't forget to be yourself.
Yeah.
Something, I think I might have brought this up on the podcast before, that, like, this sort of running idea I've had of, like, sort of B-sides to Railway Series stories. Like, the parts of the story that you just don't see. So,
Yeah.
like...
Lion King 1.5.
Yeah, Lion King 1, essentially, yeah, Lion King 1.5. But with, the Railway Series stories. And
But Timon
as
and
I was,
Pumbaa
like,
are
writing the
still
no-
there.
Yeah, Timon and Pumbaa are still there, yeah, of course. Yeah. Forever Nathan Lane. I had an idea for this story, actually, as I was taking the notes, and it would be that, like, Gordon is also getting, like, really excited, because, he's absolutely determined that it's King's Cross, right? So he's thinking
Yeah.
that he's gonna get to stay the night at Top Shed. And then is just really sulky and disappointed that he has to stay at, like, fucking Cricklewood. Or, like,
Yeah.
or more probably Kentish Town, because that was the passenger shed. But either way, yeah.
I just love the idea
That's
of
so
Gordon
fucking
having to
funny.
shed with a bunch of bumfuck nobodies.
Yeah, just a bunch of guys. There's, like, maybe, like, a couple of 3Fs or something.
The Blowjob Brothers.
Yeah.
I am above this. I thought you were in a ditch. That was you, right? Was that you? I think I read that one.
I can neither
I think that is him. Yeah.
Because
Oh, you really made an ass of yourself there, didn't you?
there's the little blue one. He has like a branch line, I think, and then there's the red one.
Yeah, one of those little things.
There's the red one.
By the way,
I think there's a green one too.
Do you think
The green one
he's-
went in the tunnel, right?
Do you think the red one's,
Yeah, I think he's middling. Just completely misunderstands.
I can't tell what you're getting at. I can't see whatever gesture you're trying to do since we don't have hands.
No, Gordon's just there fucking ignoring them.
Yeah, he would just ignore them.
Oh boy.
I'm not talking to you. Well, I mean, surely, he's
No
got the inside
talking, me
info.
angry.
Me angry. I think, by the way, just that London's all wrong, sir, is, like, first of all, an excellent line,
Yes.
Also, I just want to.
and
No, go ahead. Actually.
a fucking brilliant punchline.
Yeah.
Yes.
I just
Ego?
I just want to point out how funny it is to imagine Gordon in, like, this kind of incredibly cramped engine shed full of complete nobodies.
Yeah, he's just there.
Yeah.
Like, there's like 4 engines in front of him, and he's just stuck at the back. It's like, I hate this. This
I want to go home.
this fucking sucks. I want my roundhouse back.
Please.
Because they had
I wish I had my framed and signed photograph of Sir Nigel Gresley.
a salty story.
I wish I could have gotten that signed at
Yeah,
Top
I love
Shed.
Do we want to like get to rankings or?
Yeah, okay.
I don't really have much else to say about this page other than good punchline, funny Gordon.
Yeah, I think we all sort of struggled
It's
to
an
have a
excellent
lot
Gordon
to
page.
say about this one past the opening spiel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like after we get past all the historical context, it's just kind of like, yeah, this is a good story. And it is a good story. It's fun and I quite enjoy it. I think the joke at its core is funny, and even as a kid who didn't know what all the stations in London were, I still found the arguing between the engines and Gordon subsequently discovering all three of them were quote unquote wrong amusing. And, future cracks of the story would probably benefit from adding clarification at the end or middle or wherever, as seen in Mr. Perkins' story time. But, I don't think that's a reason to dock any points from it. It's a good story. I think it's a duck. That was not a very coherent overview, but fuck it, that's what I'm going with.
It works. I'd probably say a duck too. It's really fun. I love the punchline. Some very good characterization moments. It gave us one of my favorite one-off jobber characters.
Yep.
Yeah.
The best one-off jobber character, really, because, let's be honest here, that guy probably fucking got, scrapped still thinking that London wasn't King's Cross.
That guy died ignorant.
Yeah.
Like most British people.
Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, I don't think it's anything remarkable, and I definitely prefer Percy Takes the Plunge from the two we've seen in this book so far. But this was good, so I'd say duck. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I feel roughly the same way. This is a great story. I think that the Rev strikes a really good balance here between prose and dialogue, and both of those work really, really well to the story's strength, because obviously they're what makes the fucking thing to begin with.
Yeah.
It's not really as landmark as so many people like to believe it is, with how sort of hyped up it gets, though.
Yeah.
It's still
Because it
good.
is just sort of, at the end of the day, a silly story about Gordon being wrong. So, also, this will be a little bit of a spicy, wicey take from me. I'm kind of glad that they gave up trying to do it in the show, because it wouldn't have been nearly as good.
You're right, but that still makes me sad.
Yeah. It would have been nice to at least see them try, but also, I think we're quite well off as we are. For that, not for that, but for the other reasons I stated, I will actually give a Toby.
Okay.
Wasn't expecting this one to go as low as it did. Which it
Yeah.
didn't do poorly. We all liked it.
No, because it's
Yeah,
still,
it only
these are still quite
it only
high numbers.
seems. Yeah, these are big numbers. It only feels low because we gave fucking a unanimous 10 out of 10 to Percy Takes a Plunge.
Oh shit, we did.
Yeah, so we
didn't
got 10, 10, 10,
We did.
and then 8, 8, 7.
And it's. I think that might be fucking with our perception a little bit. Just
Yeah,
because
that's true.
this is this just gets more talked about in general. Because like we said at the beginning, it's one of the first major stories that they just never fucking covered, and it casts a long shadow because of it. Meanwhile, Percy Takes the Plunge is really good, but it's just normalized to everybody because it's oh, we know that one.
Yeah, we were talking about it a little bit.
Yeah.
Talking about it a little bit before Andrew hopped in to record. I think, Jamie.
It's the same kind of thing we were talking about at the end of Percy the Small Engine, or probably a bunch of other books that I'm forgetting because we've been doing this show for 4 fucking years. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess that's it for today.
So it would seem. Hi, this is Andrew from the future. I'm not doing this in an editor's note because I need to fucking vocalize it. I changed my ranking to Donald. I don't know why the fuck what I said equated to a Toby. That was stupid. Okay, anyway, continue.
So next time we will be going back to Sodor and doing doubleheader.
Okay.
This is James and Toby.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. It is a good one. I'm quite
Doubleheader.
excited.
I love doubleheader.
Yeah, it's quite good.
It's great.
But we'll have to save our discussion on that for next time. So we'll see you then.
Indeed.
Thank you for listening. Have a good day.
Bye bye.
Everyone, have a great day.